the only show on Indian television where you, the MSME, get center stage to voice your opinions and thoughts. This is ETNA's special daily initiative to give MSMEs and entrepreneurs the opportunity to be front and center on every industry and area that matters to you. The whole of this week, we're bringing you a Diwali special. On Direct Connect tonight, a panel of experts will answer your questions sent to us earlier, and later on, we're featuring Piconergy on our Small Giant segment. Alright, time for a brand new episode, and as always we have the most relevant experts in studio to answer all the questions you've sent to us tonight. So without further delay, let's kick tonight's episode off. Our first query tonight is a tweet that's come to us from Pankaj Shur. Pankaj has tweeted at us to say he is an exporter, manufacturer and supplier of hand tools, striking tools, garden tools, etc. He says they are not able to export his product due to implementation of GST. So he says his customers are moving to Chinese products. He wants to understand how he can restart his export business and get his customers back. And also a second part of the question is how he can get help in terms of finance. So let me break that up and first come to you, Vishal, on the GST bit, and if you can help him understand it.
Okay. So, Pankaj, my advice to you would be that, GST is a law which will take some time to stabilize. So, what is happening is that even a country like Australia took about a year and a half to kind of stabilize after implementing GST. Right now, there are several bottlenecks or we can say speed breakers that the economy is going through because of GST. However, there is a silver lining to this dark cloud, some light at the end of the tunnel, where exporters are due to get their refund, and the recent meeting also promised the people who are exporting to various countries that all of their money which is locked up in GST and their working capital will be released very, very soon. In fact, government has come up with a new e-wallet scheme. Okay. Under that e-wallet scheme, whatever credit is due to the exporter, he can utilize to pay his GST of future using that e-wallet. So I think better days are ahead.
So the recent GST meeting that the FM did has definitely given a lot of benefit and a lot of relief to small exporters as well, not just the big exporters,
yes.
Right? Pankaj, so there is definitely good news for you, both in terms of GST as well as finance. So trust that answers your query. Let's take our next query. This is coming to us from Ajay Sood. Ajay has written in to us on our Facebook page, which is Leaders of Tomorrow on ET Now. That's our Facebook page where you can leave questions for us as well. Ajay says they are manufacturers and suppliers of automotive components, fasteners, and automotive and other automotive bits. He says his major challenge is with skilled labor and their disciplinary issues. How can they create a change in their staff so they work honestly and don't leave his company quickly but stay on for a few years is the question that he has sent in to us. So HR related, let me come to you on this one.
See, what the typical problem with SMEs are, they don't have a written policies of HR. So sometimes they're kind of indecisiveness or a varied amount of decisions which management takes, which triggers attrition. So company needs to have a solid HR policy and environment for recognition, rewards, and at the same time provide that kind of a training and belongingness and a culture in the company so that the attrition is under control. So in terms of recruitment, obviously SME should recruit from a proximal areas of their business rather than recruiting from all over the place, because we have seen that if you recruit from the proximal location of your business, the retention levels are higher, and also you can have a mix of male and female where the attrition is lesser if there are female employees also in that.
Okay, in fact, I think it was you who came on our show last time saying that people don't leave bad companies, they usually leave bad managers.
Bad managers. So if you don't have a written policy or HR procedure, the managers take the decision which are ad hoc and random. So there is no consistency in terms of decision making. That creates a lot of fractions and frictions between the various employees, and that is one of the reasons people leave. So if you have a clarity in terms of a documented HR policies, procedures, and you take a decision aligned with those policies set, then there is a kind of very good understanding of employees with the management. No, this is already there, so I should not do this, I should not.
Sure.
So disciplinary action will not be taken in that case.
All right, Ajay, do look into, like is being recommended by our expert, your own HR policies internally, and possibly changes that you might want to look at putting in there. Our next query is coming to us from the line of Piyush Patel. Piyush, what's your question for our experts tonight?
We have a problem that recently the government of India has introduced 5% GST in the branded product, and they have left unbranded product at a zero level GST. So there is a problem in selling our product 5% above the prices in the local market.
Okay, Vishal.
See, most of these indirect taxes do not satisfy ability to pay principal. Having said that, to make sure that there is some kind of equitable justice done, there are slabs kept of different products for different types of consumers consuming those products. For example, people with low income would buy clothes which are less than 1,000 rupees. So to reduce the burden of taxation on low income group, they have kept lower tax rates, and to mop up more revenue from people who can afford. So the idea of government putting different slabs on similar products is based on the target customers who are buying those products and bringing in some kind of equitable justice in terms of satisfying the ability to pay principal.
But there seems to be then still though confusion that exists. I mean, if you have July is when we saw GST happening, and now we're sitting in October and there still seems to be that confusion happening. I do know we very often said on the show, the government, you can go and look this up. There are the SME bodies where you can get more clarity. The government has set up these redressal cells, but despite that, there seems to still be a lot of this confusion that exists.
Okay, so I'll tell you, see, what is happening is that let's take a case study of a recent country which has just implemented GST, which I just mentioned, Australia. So Australia, in terms of its size, is as big as India, but in terms of its population, slightly more than Mumbai. And it is a first world country where they say it's developed. Most people are educated. Even for them, they took a year and a half to stabilize. So what is happening is that for a country like India, where we have so many people, and India is essentially SME, very, very entrepreneurial. So most of these entrepreneurs are not highly educated. So what happens is that by the time it reaches to the last mile, there is bound to be confusions. So if you see in terms of slabs, government has made no changes in slabs. The slabs were always 4 and they are 4 today. But by the time it reaches to the last person in the country, it will take some time, and I guess we will have to have that kind of patience till the time we are able to achieve the last mile.
All right, Piyush, that's in response to your question. There are no different slabs like our expert is pointing out on the same product, but on similar products there could be. Please do take the time to educate yourself some more on how GST is going to apply for your particular industry. Time for another question, and this one is coming to us from Digambar Naik. Go ahead, Digambar.
What are the new technologies introduced in market for additional automation helpful in machinery press, and what are the measures to take to ensure the employees stick to the organization, and what other companies should give us the business apart from Bajaj?
Okay, one is technologies, but if I can also broad base it and ask how people who are in the manufacturing space keep abreast of how technology is changing for their space, because AI now, for instance, seems to have become common parlance. So how does an entrepreneur stay abreast of the changes?
See, in terms of, for example, for this question, which is a manufacturing related, there are operations like piercing, bending, drilling and all. So a lot of technological advancement has taken place where there are laser sources, where there are good amount of measurement. For example, IoT, Internet of Things, where you can get a sense and feedback kind of mechanism from your machine tool and correct and process, measure the whole process itself. So there is a lot of improvement can happen in a manufacturing itself by adopting this technology. Well, digitalization is one, networking of machines is another one. At the same time, integration of these IoT, which are very cheap technologies, into the manufacturing process can not only increase the accuracy of the whole thing, but also increase the productivity and efficiencies of the machines.
Sure. All right, that's in response to your question, Digambar. Thank you very much for calling in with that. And we've run out of time on this particular episode. Sunil, Vishal, thank you both very much for being with us here tonight.
Thank you.
Time for a break here on Leaders of Tomorrow, but on the other side, we'll feature Piconergy on our Small Giant segment. Just stay tuned. You're back with us here on Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight we're featuring Piconergy on our Small Giant segment. Now, in a country where more than 300 million people don't have access to electricity, it's becoming increasingly crucial for Indian businesses to work towards devising innovative tools that bring the power of light to the financially underserved. Piconergy, an innovative social enterprise, addresses this issue by eliminating the dependency of households and micro-enterprises on polluting sources of light through its solar panels that serve the basic needs of lighting as well as mobile charging. Karishma Vanjani caught up with the co-founder of this social enterprise to bring you the story. Take a look.
As per World Energy Outlook, an estimated 1.3 billion people don't have access to electricity. $304 million of those belong to the rural parts of India. As the appetite for energy soars, India will not be able to avoid the increased use of fossil fuels. While we are still waiting for big business and world governments to act on energy, social entrepreneurs around the world are tackling the issue by speeding up energy innovation. We caught up with Piconergy, a social enterprise which tackles two of the world's biggest problems: climate change and poverty.
Social enterprises. Social enterprises are India's next best chance to turn a profit out of the clean tech energy. Today joining me is Bhushan Trivedi, founder of one such social enterprise that's working towards making India more clean tech friendly. So Bhushan, thanks for joining us on Leaders of Tomorrow.
Thank you for having me.
My first question is about the clean tech space that's essentially unexplored by a lot of Indian entrepreneurs. What made you dive into that, and what was the idea behind Piconergy?
Well, I personally think, I truly believe firstly in the power of renewable energy and solar in specific for India. And at the same time, I had a great amount of empathy for the people who've been living without electricity, who don't have proper energy access. And I always felt that solar technology, because of its decentralized nature in terms of installation and usage, can be a very effective solution for crores and crores of people that we have in our country who still are living without electricity, and it's highly likely that the grid supply will not reach them in the foreseeable future. So it's sort of, solar technology blends in well with addressing the immediate needs of the underserved population of our country, and that's pretty much, well, that was pretty much the starting point for Piconergy to come in.
Social enterprises are essentially designed to create a profit both for the society and for business. For the society, of course, the big benefit is investment into clean energy. What's the business angle here?
The business angle is quite simple. So we come up with value for money, innovative solar products, which are again designed keeping the underserved and the financially poor target audience. And if you do a simple math, our target group in Mumbai was spending a lot of money on kerosene, roughly about 500 rupees per month, which amounts to 6,000 a year. And our solar home lighting system, which comes with 3 bulbs and a USB port to charge your mobile devices, is only for 2,500 rupees. So that's massive amount of savings. So if you do a math for 3 years, it saves more than 17,500 rupees just by not using kerosene, right? And the business angle for us is to sell these products which have a great impact in people's life, which create, great amount of social value. And we have gross profits in the product as well. So there is a good amount of margin involved in the product. So we are profitable on gross basis, and as we scale up, my personal mission is to keep the social impact central, but also to demonstrate that yes, social enterprises can address social issues and yet be financially sustainable, not be dependent on grants or donations all the time. So we have a revenue model in place, which will only strengthen as we go ahead and scale up.
So we spoke about social enterprises. Let me pick on that and talk to you about what is the future of social enterprises in India. How has the growth been like?
Well, I think India is the best place for social innovation in my mind, and I say that simply because, well, it may sound odd, but because our country has a lot of problems, and there are problems not just in energy, but water is a very serious issue coming up across the country. You have health, you have sanitation, you have children and women's needs, and several issues, and education is one of them as well. So there are plenty of problems or plenty of gaps which are present in the society today, which can be addressed in a very effective and an efficient way through the whole social business, social entrepreneurship model.
So as we speak about your model, Piconergy has reached thousands of customers across India, but it is still essentially bootstrapped. What do you think is the hurdle here? Are the investors shying away from investing into social enterprises, or there's some big government push required?
Let me answer the investor question first. I think it's really important to understand that the latest thing which is happening in the whole startup ecosystem is investors, most of them are looking for ventures which would give them great valuation at their exits, and they can make a substantial profit as well. However, at Piconergy we are bootstrapped for a simple reason, because the geography that we operate in, the kind of customers that we cater to, and the overall model is quite complex and difficult to go ahead with. And in the last couple of years, our efforts were just about understanding what makes the customer happy, what are those products and services we should come out with, and also inch towards being unit positive. And I assure you, the day when we ask for funds, we would know exactly what to do with those funds and what social impact we would create with those funds as well. So we won't be bootstrapped for long, but we want to understand the tricks and trades of the business before we actually go for the bigger plunge. Now, just brushing up on the government policies, I think it would be great if we have more focus from the government, especially to sort of create a soft launch pad for social enterprises. I think it's very important to define social enterprises, what a social enterprise is, and also to make some policies which help them to sort of pilot and grow.
What are some of the milestones set for Piconergy?
I see Piconergy, I see myself as a problem solver. I was asked this question, what is your vision for 20 years, 15 years down the line? And I said, I want to do the job, finish the job, and close my shop. I want to see a day when Piconergy is non-existent after maybe 5 or 10 years. And we will be in the game, we will have a skin in the game till every house in the country has electricity. And the day we know that, the way we eradicated polio, right? So that was more like a problem-solving approach. Every day that we are in existence means there's someone who's living without electricity. And we really want to eradicate this problem and finish the job and close the shop is how I see it. So that's the approach.
सबसे पहले मैं इस खाड़ी के बारे में बताना चाहूँगा। खाड़ी में मोस्टली तो हर चीज़ की दिक्कत ही है, तकलीफ़ है। मोस्टली तो तकलीफ़ जो है लाइट का है, लाइट, पानी और टॉयलेट। टॉयलेट का और पानी का तो चल सकता है, लेकिन लाइट जो है, लाइट मोस्टली सबको चाहिए पढ़ने के लिए। बगैर लाइट का तो कोई पढ़ नहीं सकता। और यहाँ पे जो है लाइट का जो है ना कोई समाधान नहीं है समस्या का। लाइट आ जाने की वजह से बच्चों के अंदर पढ़ने का हौसला बुलंद हुआ है, और चूँकि सलमा दी आई थी, उनकी टीम भी आई थी, तो बच्चे सोच रहे थे कि हम लोग भी पढ़ लिख करके सोशल वर्क करेंगे।
Completely out of time on this episode of Leaders of Tomorrow. If you have any questions for us, do remember you can always write in at leadersoftomorrowtimesgroup.com. On social media, tweet at me at Sunanda_J or LOT_ET now. That's our Twitter handle. You can also reach us on our Facebook page, Leaders of Tomorrow in ET now, or call us on that number you see on your screen. We love hearing from you. Thanks very much. Have a blessed Diwali.